Okay, here we go. Sunny Ade is your name, right?
Sunny what?
Sunny Ade.
Sunny Ade, no, I wish. I wish it was just King Sunny.
Well, but it's Sunny Jain. It's good to have you again. First time we met was with the Asphalt Cowboys, right?
Asphalt Orchestra.
Oh man, I don't know why I mix up always the names. I'm sorry. So that band wasn't really your band, right? You were just one of the members,
Yeah,
right?
I'm a snare drummer in Asphalt Orchestra.
So tonight when I saw you, it was your band, right? The Red Baraat.
Yeah, Red Baraat.
Okay. So, Sunny, I checked out some of the interviews other people did of you, and I couldn't find any kind of information about your private life. I'm not so much interested who are you married to or who's your girlfriend, but I like to know why are you here? Who made you? What happened before everything?
For everything. Well, I was born in Rochester, New York, in upstate New York. My parents came here in 1969, 1970, Punjabi immigrants. They settled here, we're the only family settled here, and so I'm the son, the offspring of Shri and Asha Jain.
Yes.
And spent most of my life in Rochester, New York, growing up, until about I was 18. And was bit by the music bug at, I'd say about at the age of 5 or so, 4 or 5. Listening to Jain bhajans and Hindustani classical music, Bollywood music, on my dad's reel-to-reel, and just literally air tablaing, like doing this, in the air, and then kind of came to top 40 classic rock, the Western music, so to speak, and started up on drums at age 10. At the age of 12, fell in love with jazz music. I had a drum teacher that was a bebop jazz drummer, Rich Thompson, and he started me on this path of just delving into the great jazz legends like Philly Joe Jones, Art Blakey, Max Roach.
Oh, okay.
And, this combination of jazz, Western, rock, and Indian music, various bits of Indian music, whether it's Bollywood or bhajans or, Hindustani kind of, or Bhangra music, just stayed with me through my path. And Red Baraat is now this incarnation of where I'm at right now, I guess, in life. I'm playing the dhol in it, and there's a drum set player and a percussionist, there's a sousaphone player and 5 other horn players, and it's a big boisterous brass band that kind of looks back at the roots of India, the 17th century with the Indian brass bands over there, and combining it with Bhangra music, that Punjabi flavor of just, dance music and infectious rhythms, along with us all being Americans in the band, all us being exposed to New York City sounds, Latin, global, funk, jazz, and having all of that seep into our sound.
I'm always interested. Also, I'm interested in you because I'm myself an Iranian,
Right.
So I was born in Europe, brought up in Europe, then went to Japan and came to New York. So I've been a foreigner all my life. So in your case, how much do you feel are you Indian or American? And how is it, being an Indian, are you an Indian American or an American? So do you have 2 passports?
I don't. I have 1 passport. I have
American.
an American passport, but I go to India regularly. I have my 10-year visas, that I renew 3 times or whatever.
So how do you feel when you go, like let's say the way you feel about yourself, and you go back to India, play music, or you meet your relatives?
Sure.
Do they treat you like? I could imagine your family could treat you like one of them, but when you're on the street and so. Are you treated like one of them, or do they say, hey, you're a little strange or different from us when you talk to them?
It's never anything that's outright rude or aggressive at all, but naturally, yeah, I do stick out because just simply by the way I dress, even if I am wearing traditional Indian clothes over there, wearing a kurta pajama or whatever, walking around, the way maybe I do my hair, or just the fact that I have a goatee or, I wear earrings, like certain things make me stick out so people will look at me, but it's never in anything but a curious way.
So how do you feel about India as maybe
I love India
as a country, politically, socially?
I love India. I love going back there and visiting. I know I could probably never settle there because I was born and raised in America, but I love visiting. I feel very fortunate to have grown up in these two cultures. I mean, growing up, it felt like these two disparate cultures, and I was caught in the middle of trying to figure out what am I, who am I. I'm here in America, yet I have very traditional Indian parents that are raising me a certain way, with strong religious background and whatnot. On top of that, I'm a jazz musician. Once again, just kind of cornering myself, marginalizing myself in terms of the culture I'm in or the society I'm in. But at the end of the day, I think what's always helped me or just allowed me to be me is the fact that I am a combination of all these things. I never side to one way or another, like, oh, I'm Indian, or oh, I'm American, or oh, I'm a jazz musician. Today I'm a drummer. Today I'm a dhol player. Tomorrow I'm a cook. Tomorrow it's kind of a whole parchment of what makes me. And when you touch one of those squares in that parchment, it resonates the entire thing.
Right.
So I don't think about it so much when I go back there. In terms of I'm Indian, I'm American. I don't try and act more Indian. I don't try and act more American. I act who I am.
Do you have an Indian friend?
Do I have an Indian
No,
friend?
it's a stupid question, but it makes sense to me. Like
an Indian American friend or a friend from India?
Yeah.
I have several friends from India. Absolutely.
And you can communicate with them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have no culture gaps.
No, I mean,
there's things like
no. Most of my friends over there are musicians, or involved in the music industry. So I mean, when I go back there, it's like it's a hang. It's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
They expose me to new music that's happening over there that I'm not hip to, and vice versa. It's like we exchange links about music and things like that. But there's never, it's never a thing that, oh, you're American, and it's never a thing over here that I feel that way. Of course you encounter that here and there, you encounter it as a brown-skinned person, it's like, what are you? You Spanish, are you black?
Right.
Are you Indian? Like, what are you? Are you Arab? Like, people always want to categorize you and try and figure out what you are.
Okay, what about, sorry, maybe you don't like the question, about Indian women.
Women.
Could you marry a really Indian lady?
Because I mean, it's a moot point for me.
No, I'm asking you because I know Persian, Iranian women, and the way I am, it's difficult to be with an Iranian woman who because they think differently and have other perspectives in life and so.
I don't know.
You don't feel it with Indian women?
I don't feel that. I don't have big generalizations for anyone.
Okay.
In general, while I may feel a certain way, I always leave that little scope of the fact that someone's going to prove me wrong. For the very fact that I've always grown up in a very unique situation, and I've always felt like, who is there to look for that is like my mentor, like who is that Indian jazz drummer out there I can look up to? And it wasn't until 17 that I realized there was Trilok Gurtu.
Okay.
So for a long part of my life, I've always kind of tried to be comfortable with myself and who I am and what my desires are, and I think by feeling that way and knowing that about me, I know that when you go in different cultures, you encounter different people, there's always going to be someone that's going to prove that sweeping generalization wrong. I always try and find the commonality when I meet people from different cultures, and I try and find an interest of where we can talk about things.
Right.
And I can learn about their culture, learn about where they're coming from. But no, I have nothing but respect and love for the Indian culture. I mean, it's where I come from. It's my upbringing in terms of my parents, of what they've taught me.
Right.
While I didn't grow up there, it resonates with me strongly when I go back there. It's part of my DNA.
Good. Now let's talk a little about music. Red Baraat. I think red means the color red.
Yeah.
And Baraat means what?
Baraat is a procession that happens in North Indian weddings.
Okay.
It's it's basically involved. It's the groom gets on the horse. You have a brass band. You have a dhol player, and there's a lot of singing and dancing. It's a big celebration. So the Baraat, you have the Baraat. You have that wedding festivity celebration and whatnot. You have red, the color of red, which has various connotations. Love, excitement, joy. Even political or whatever energy, and it happens just to be my favorite color as well, and went better than green baraat. I could see people all of a sudden calling it green beret or something. So, and it being red baraat.
And listening to your dhol playing, you have a certain rhythm, almost in every song. What time signature is it?
It's in 4/4.
Ah, it's 4/4.
Yeah, it's in 4/4. It's not really in every song, but maybe the songs you heard. There's a typical Punjabi rhythm called dhol.
Could you clap it?
Yeah, it goes.
Ah, you're right.
You know, so
Yes.
there's that rhythm. It's called dhol. People often refer to it as Bhangra, but and then there's various beats within the Punjabi folk tradition and whatnot. You know, the Gitta, Jumer, Sialkoti Bhangra, Damal, and Laheria. We kind of hit upon a little bit of each within the repertoire and whatnot.
And how much improvisation do you have in your music?
It's a good amount of improvisation. Good amount of improvisation. There's always rooms for horn solos, drum solos. Things are improvised on the stage, you know, with sometimes the way I'm leading things, you know, I'll just go into things. And the band is used to that. Everyone in the band is an improviser, and so we're used to doing that type of thing.
The drummer looked like Asian. Is he maybe Japanese?
Toma Fujiwara, he's half Japanese,
okay.
He's half Japanese, half
Yes.
French. Great drummer, yeah, he comes from a jazz background as well, and I've known Toma for some years. And I was about to say, I think that's him actually walking up the street, but it's not. But yeah, you're right.
So it seems like most of your members are Indian, right? Indian.
No, it's mixed up. There's
I know the horn players were look more American, but the trumpet player, the sousa player, the conga player, the
the
percussionist.
percussionist is Indian, and the
And-
trumpet player is Indian. Rohin Khemani and
Right.
Sunny Jain, the trumpet player, they're both Indian. Who else is Indian in the band? I think that's it. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it.
It's 1/3, right? You have 9 people.
That's
It's
right.
a-
Yeah, 1/3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's all mixed up. I mean, that's the beauty about this band and
Yes.
our audience. You know, it's that diversity. When people look on stage or when I see videos, it's like, wow, look at this eclectic group. It's so mixed up. It's interesting. And then when you look out in our audience, it's reflective of what you see on stage. You see a bunch of different people, different ages,
Right.
different ethnicities, people just getting together in one form of unity and celebrating music and life and just having a good time.
Actually, I couldn't go, but I heard that you went to Occupy Wall Street.
Yes.
And how was it? Why did you go? Do you belong to the 1% or to the 99%?
I think majority of us belong to the 99%, right? You know, I mean, I think that's the issue. I went there to support it.
Did you go alone or with members?
No,
of-
we went with about 5 members of the group, and you know, there's a huge disparity in this country. You know, I don't want to get super political because I'm not necessarily one to get into politics about various things, but I had my beliefs and whatnot, and I felt like this was something that needed to go out there and be supported by the band and by the voices of New York. So about half the band went over there. We just played there once, and it was great welcoming, and it was just beautiful to see so many people out there really getting into the vibe and supporting the movement.
And how do you feel about, yes, as a musician now? Because I believe that music is not just entertainment. And you said you don't want to be too much political, but I mean, if you're serious about what you do and you are on stage and even play music, it's politics already.
Well, this is my issue with it. Politics to me is a word that is attached to anyone that has beliefs.
Right.
You know, and it's often thrown into the government. Brooklyn. It's often thrown into the arena of government, right? But what is politics at the end of the day? It's collective decision making, right?
Right.
We all in the band have our own personal beliefs and opinions. I have my personal beliefs and opinions, whether they're, you know, informed by my religion or my experiences or whatnot. But when you're dealing with music, you know, there are many bands out there that I love that are very political. Rage Against the Machine, for instance.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want to do that with our music. To me, it's about unifying. It's about unity. It's about bringing people of all different backgrounds and generations together. And if you can put good music and put out good energy and good vibes, and let people leave the show like that, I feel like now you've raised them to a level of human kindness. And maybe that'll inform their decisions. Whatever their politics are, whatever their beliefs are, you know, whether Democrat, Republican, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not my concern. And that's what I say when I don't want to get into politics. It's, you know, I have my beliefs and I vote the way I vote, but at the end of the day, I'm not interested in only talking to people that believe the way I believe. I'm interested in dialogue with people of all backgrounds and cultures. That's how I learn. That's how people learn. And if you can raise them to that level of feeling good, put them back out to the world, and let's see if they make proper decisions in their life. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Sunny Jain. Kiss,
Thank
kiss.
you.
That's it.
Thank you, man.